we're ready. We're ready?
We're ready.
So, after much technical difficulty, we're back.
What
on
technical difficulties?
Episode 3 of the Dom's Dance Court podcast with
Lovely
the
to be here.
amazing Daiki Shino.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you, sir.
Thank you.
for accepting and being our second official guest. But I know that we've always had the special third guest who's been here now on 3 episodes in a row.
Yes.
The amazing Molly. But what technical difficulties? Well, a lot. I mean, thank God Daiki specializes in everything related to art. I'd say visual technology. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So-
Visuals. I'm a big tech nerd as well.
Yeah, please.
Helps out.
Please share with people who don't know who Daiki Shino is. Tell them a little bit about who Daiki Shino is, please.
Thank you. Well, I'm a photographer and filmmaker specializing in travel and concerts. So most of the time you'll find me traveling around making cities look beautiful or filming some of my favorite musicians as they perform. Two different lives, but both very fun.
Would you say they're somehow interconnected or not at all?
Sometimes interconnected. I think like I'm still not at that stage yet, but I would love to go on tour with musicians, and I think that's like a perfect combination of like my city content and also going on tour because artists love to explore cities.
I was seeing your Instagram before because I wanted to see if I had missed anything. You know, I do know a lot about your life because we are also friends, so I do see a lot about you. But I was trying to see, and I think do you curate your own Instagram feed and TikTok?
Yes, yeah, for sure, yeah.
But it's so nice to see how you have, on one side, you have a lot of the concert stuff. So whether it was Ray Brown or whether it was Saint Laurent, is that correct?
Saint Laurent, yeah.
But then there was like the Doors of Madrid, all the cities, and that was so cool to see the overlap of it. You do it super well. Like you somehow link doors and cities, and you make it look so beautiful next to celebrities, peoples, and singers that look so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
It's the perfect mix. I'd love to share a little bit about how I met this incredible man, because it is a pretty cool story. Would you not agree?
It is. Do you want to tell the story or shall I?
We'll tell it together.
Okay.
But I want to know first, because you can help me fill up in some of the gaps. We met, and you told me earlier when we had lunch in September. Is that correct?
Yeah, like when we.
You sure it wasn't July? It wasn't before?
It might have been.
I have a feeling it's July. Yeah. Just because when I was working at the club and I was going there every single weekend.
Probably was July because we did our event in September.
There you go. So it has to be July. We were seeing each other a lot during August, so I do think it was July. But I remember because I was DJing at that club when I had just started, and I would go every weekend. And every weekend that I was going, I would, I remember that specifically that this was maybe now 2 months in. So picture, 2 months in, going every Thursday, every Friday, every Saturday. And you know how it is in Spain. You're going at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then you stay there till like 5 or 6. I remember I was exhausted by the end of it. But what I remember is that specific thing was towards the end of July. So it was towards the end of my shit there. And that specific Saturday, I remember Friday before I was exhausted. I almost didn't go. That was one of the first Saturdays I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
What will change if I don't go once? What will change if I don't go once?
Yeah.
And I cannot believe how happy, because a lot would have changed if I didn't.
I know, right?
Because that's where I met this amazing man. So you tell me a little bit.
Very similar as well. It was like a friend's birthday, my flatmate and my friend's birthday, and like he didn't want to go out, I didn't want to go out, and I think one of our mutual friends, Inez, she just convinced both of us that like, hey, you guys should go out. Like neither one of us wanted to go out. And I think she kind of like gaslit us into going out.
In typical Inez fashion?
Yeah. And it's like she somehow managed to get me, someone who never goes out, to go out. And I was like, fine, I'll do it for Nico. I'll do it for Nico's birthday. And Nico was like, I didn't want to go out either. So, but like we, reluctantly went out, and lo and behold, met you. You were like, I remember you were very like friendly face, saying hi to everyone. I think we got talking after that. But
I remember, you know what I remember? I think I don't know if you remember this, but I was in the DJ booth setting up, and that day, it was like I said, it was 2 months in. I knew the club owners a little bit better because I was going so often. And specifically, that day, they hadn't. I don't know why nobody was there. Nobody was working. I don't know why.
It was empty. Yeah, I remember.
The club.
Yeah, it was empty.
The club itself was full. Like the people were full, and it was two floors, right?
Yeah.
So the floor above was super full. The floor at the bottom
empty.
was
Yeah,
empty.
it was just
why?
us.
Because they left the lights on, and nobody was working. For some reason, no person who was supposed to be there wasn't there. Does that make sense? And I remember I get there. I'm mixing. I think at 2, so not even at 12:30, or maybe and I think I got there at 12:30 because I would always go early and try to meet people and whatnot.
You never know who you meet.
You never know who you meet. And also because I was trying to learn a lot the ropes of the industry. I was trying to learn the clubs. I was going alone to those clubs, to that club. I was going alone every weekend, and I would be meeting so many great people. Nobody as great as you two, but I was meeting so many great people, and it was like, I think I was very uncomfortable. Because imagine going alone to such a social...
Yeah, exactly, right?
But that day specifically, I kid you not, I get there, and I'm like, where are the owners? And the girl at the door, she's like, oh, they're not here. I said, but who's DJing? Like, it's 12:30. Usually the first DJ starts at 12:30. And they're like, I don't know. I call the guy. He's like, they're at a party. I can hear them. They're at the party or they're having dinner. And he's like, can you DJ? I'm like, sure. But I was supposed to start at 2, but like, sure, why not? I'll go for it. I started setting up frantically. Yeah. And I think you were down there with Nico, right?
Yeah.
You were down there and you were just watching. I remember you just standing there and you're just watching me. And I'm like, and I remember asking, I was like, do you want to DJ? Do you remember that a little bit?
Yeah, because I was trying to figure out how to plug in my phone into the
and you went downstairs?
Yeah. It was like, I'm going to play some of it. Like, there's no music, so I'm like, might as well just play some of my music.
But there was music upstairs, yeah?
Yeah, but downstairs was no music.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to like plug in Spotify.
Wait,
my skills are nowhere near.
But then what I'm wondering is, what did you think when you saw me standing on the booth? And you see him sitting, you're like, okay, finally? Or what were you thinking?
Yeah, I was like, because I was also wondering, like, why is there no one here? Like, when we arrived, we were like, are we allowed to be here? And it's like, we stayed there for like 15 minutes.
And the bathrooms are down there, so it's like anybody can access it.
Yeah, no one really kicked us out, so we're like, we're just gonna stay here because it's so much more. Because at this like point in time, like Nico and I, we still didn't want to go out. So we're just like, oh, this is quiet. We'll stay here. There's like seats and stuff here.
Yeah, it's pretty nice down there. It's pretty comfy.
It is nice there.
But so that was cool. And I remember from my side, I see Daiki. I swear again, you were just standing and staring at me. You were staring at like, what is he doing? Like, I wonder what's he doing. And I remember I was like,
I remember that.
I had like, never.
How do you actually plug in a phone into?
You were trying to see if there was a space for it, but also on my end, I'm like trying to figure out because I had to do the lights. The lights weren't on either. I told you. So I didn't know how to do that. I remember asking. I was like, "Do you know?" And you were like, "No, I'm just a photographer." I'm just a photographer. I think that's what you said. Yeah. I was like, "No, wait." And I remember I noted that, and I think I made a joke. Do you remember? I was like, "Cool, I'm mixing later. If you want to take some pictures, let me know." Truly, it's like this typical jokes that are not jokes, but they. Yeah. I didn't expect you. The next day I wake up. Because I got his Instagram. The next day I wake up and I get a fucking playbook link from this guy with like 20, 30 pictures that you took of me.
Shout out playbook. And he ended up, we'll talk about playbook a little bit later. You ended up sending me 20 to 30 pictures. Yeah. And I ended up using some of them. And they were all with your phone. And oh yeah, no, yeah, they were from my phone as well. Yeah.
You told me that. You were like, oh, I don't have my camera. And I think that's what I liked a lot about you. Like when I made that joke, the first thing you said was, haha, you didn't laugh. It's like, you didn't laugh. You thought I was being serious. And you said, I only have my phone. I didn't bring my camera. I was like, oh, that's fine. You can use your phone, whatever. And like, sure, I'll see what I can do. And you actually did something. But I think later, the actual DJ came, the one who was supposed to come. Yeah. I remember being like, dude, where were you? He ends up coming. And then I think that's when you and I go up. Yeah. And I start talking. You meet you properly. You introduced me to Inez. Yes. Who I think I met very little that night, but that night we ended up chatting a lot. We met some other dude. Remember that guy from Turkey that we met who was telling us he was here with a Turkish player who was playing for Real Madrid. Yeah, he's apparently like the manager of the Real Madrid, like the very young. Yeah. He's like 20 years old. Like Arda Güler. That's what they call him. Yeah. That's his name. That's not what they call him. That is. I don't know if that's true, but like he was showing us pictures, right? Yeah. It was funny though. I just know you and I were just talking, and the guy just came to show us the thing. Yeah, it's like. Okay, nice flex. But I really enjoyed that night. Like now that I look back at it, I was like really happy. And I mean, I always say this. I think things happen in the way they're supposed to happen. But imagine I didn't go that night. I wouldn't have. None of this will be happening. Yeah, none of this. And you, after like all the pictures of my DJ account that I have are thanks to this talented young man. Like, thank you. All of them. Like I remember we ended up going for lunch maybe the week after we met. we spoke, you told me your whole story, which I would love for you to share a little bit of now, because I not only found it so inspiring, but I remember really loving your hard work, dedication, and resilience. I think would you say that's a fair word to say?
Yeah, for sure.
Because now when you explain, I think people will understand why I mean when I say resilience. But I loved your story, and then I think we kind of came to an agreement for how you could help me out while helping yourself a little bit on the DJing. And I think we came for one or two, and then we made an event together with our other friend. We got some really cool content, cool videos. We
need to do another event for sure,
and just more content, right?
Yeah.
But I'd like for you, if you don't mind, to just share a little bit about and remind me as well, because I do remember the story, and correct me where I'm wrong, but you were telling me that. So firstly, maybe we can go way back. Yeah. What was your first take or your first moment with a camera? Who gave you that camera? What brought you to the world of camera? Let's start with that, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So like when I was a kid, like I got one of those like tiny point and shoot cameras as a gift for Christmas, and I was just like casually taking photos. And like I think
who got it for you? Sorry,
my mom, yeah.
Just because, or she knew?
Like for Christmas, for Christmas. Like
she internally knew though. She knew this would mean more than just a Christmas gift.
No, like I didn't take it seriously at all because I was just making videos for fun, and like I'll post them on YouTube, but I made them unlisted or like private because I was just like for me. And then that was like when I was like 14, 15, and then I came to university, and like I came to university with like a proper camera because a friend of mine from high school, as like a goodbye present, gifted me like her old camera. And so I was like, oh yeah, I have a camera, might as well use it. So I started like taking photos casually, and I think at the end of my first year, over the summer, I did like a tech internship at this cool startup in London doing like marketing strategy and stuff, and I used like all that money to buy like my current camera. And so like I remember like I went back to university with like $30 in my bank account, and I'm like, well, I need to figure out how to make money from this because I'm broke. So yeah, like I kind of forced myself to learn photography and videography.
That was the story that marked me, was when you said that. Like you told me, was it was it 1400?
Yeah, right? The camera's like $1,500.
I remember. Yeah. I don't know why I remember that number, the 1400, but I remember you telling me that and saying like, oh, I just spent 1400, and I had to go make the money. Like I love that mentality of. It
was a really dumb 19-year-old decision.
But hey,
you make these decisions when you're 19.
And hey, so, I look at you now. Like
exactly,
like, you wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for.
No, 100%. I'm so great. I'm so grateful for that. Like there's a lot of, I don't know. There's like a lot of factors that like if these small things didn't happen, then this other like none of this would have happened.
It's like
so. It's like again, like funny how life works. Like you just let life do its thing, and then it will happen. Obviously, you need to like put yourself in the right place.
Yeah. Well, they say a lot of people that I see a lot of them on Twitter. What they say a lot of them is you want to increase your luck surface area as much as possible.
Yes.
And that's how you increase it,
Yeah.
By just
putting yourself out there, doing things, taking calculated risks.
100%. In that case, it was a big risk.
Maybe it was not calculated. It was just risk.
But I think it's all those you were saying about how the little stuff. I think all the little things, it's when added up, that they end up having an exponentially positive effect.
Yes.
Or powerful effect. And that's so cool.
Like an analogy I like to say is life is like a river. Mm-hmm. Like life events are flowing down. You are just standing on the side of a river, and like life is like the river that's flowing past you. And so like all these opportunities are coming by. It's just a matter of like what kind of contraption, net, whatever you make to catch those opportunities. Like
I love that.
You like start off with maybe like a stick, and some people just continue like trying to spear some fish. It works, maybe you get really good at spearing fish, but also like some people, like it might be better for some other people to just try to build as big of a net as possible. But then there's like pros and cons to both. This is not a direct translation from the analogy to real life, but sometimes if you make a big net, the downside is you might catch things that you shouldn't have caught as well. But then also the downside of like spearing fish is you might miss opportunities.
That's so interesting. I love that analogy, and I think I would add to that from a book that I read was, I think they were saying how material for your work and material for your life and just clues if you want to call them,
Yeah.
are surrounding you at every turn. You just got to be willing enough to look for them,
Yes.
to find them, and pay attention. But
Yes.
because a lot of us are constantly socialized and stimulated by all these distractions, it's so much harder to properly pay attention. But usually it's like if you pay attention, the universe is like a helping hand. It's giving you that guiding force. But you gotta pay attention. You gotta look for those clues.
Not just paying attention, but like preparing yourself.
How so?
Well, because I think like for me, like I've gotten so far 2 big lucky breaks on like social media in terms of like growth on like for my career, and like where like my videos have like blown up. But like I wouldn't be where I am today if I wasn't like ready to receive that as well. So like going back to the river analogy, like you're on by the river and you're like waiting for like a giant like rock of gold or something, right? But if you're not prepared to like catch the thing, so you might see it coming, you might get hit by it, but if you don't have the proper like tools, the proper like skills to actually take advantage of that.
I like that. So it's like you were building. So that's why I'm saying every little moment that you had all added up to positively help you, correct? To where you were when that lucky break happened.
Yes, but also like the fun, like I guess like it's also impossible to prepare for it as well. So like you don't prepare specifically for a lucky break. You just build up and you work on yourself, and by working on yourself, you just build up the tools that could catch a lucky break. You never know. Maybe like maybe a lucky break comes and you still weren't ready for it yet. But then there are lucky breaks that come towards you and you are ready for it.
I know. You know Rick Rubin? He's a producer. You know Rick Rubin, the producer?
Yes. I still haven't finished his book.
Dude, I'm reading it, and that's where I think he was the one saying about like look for clues. It must have been. It's like the book I've been reading now. I try to reread it over and over because it's just so good.
Sounds like what he will say.
And one thing that he did say that I do know he said that I loved, because I think I apply it all the time to my own life, is, well, I think the river. He says when you allow yourself to go out and look for the clues, it's like kind of like the outside world. There's infinite possibilities.
Yes, I remember him writing that.
And he was saying that the river, or like no two streams flow the same way, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like a little bit what you're saying. It's like it's always flowing. It's ever flowing.
Yes.
And
you never know what's gonna come down the river.
Never. Yeah. And I do love your perspective on it though. And did you feel like you were ready to catch it when it happened? Clearly so, right?
I don't think I felt ready, but just like all the work I've done for myself leading up to it has essentially built up something that made me be able to receive it.
It's like the mental framework and the roadmaps, you had them in your head ready. Yeah, but I mean, it's everything you're doing is leading towards it. You know, like if you're not building, you're dying. If that makes sense. And every little thing is leading up to that moment, and that's 100%. And to continue, because once that moment happens, now it's okay.
Yeah, because like for example, like the first lucky break I had was like almost exactly last year on TikTok.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Like the Doors of Madrid video. So like the story behind that is like,
I'd love to show that one if you're
down
for
sure,
it. Maybe
for
we'll
sure.
take a break later.
Maybe like it will like appear somewhere here. Maybe Julian will like edit it so that like it flies. It's like it zooms in like a UFO flies in, zooms in, drops it off.
If it doesn't, you'll see it at the break in its own screen.
Yes, but yeah. So like the story was like February last year. I was feeling very like depressed. I was struggling to like leave my bed, like just completely drained mentally. And so one day it was like really bad. I'm just like, I'm wasting weekends. Like weekends are flying away, me not doing anything. And so like I was like, okay, I'm gonna just force myself to go do something. So what I decided on was I'm gonna force myself to take photos of anything. So I went to like my favorite cafe in the middle of Madrid, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get this like croissant. I'm gonna walk outside. I'm gonna take photos of. I'm gonna go to this one street. I'm gonna take photos of every single door on the street, and just to force myself to take photos of anything, right? Like it doesn't need to look good. It just needs to be doors, or like I just needs to be anything. So like I was taking photos of doors on this one street, like going one door, the next door, the next door. After like the 5th door, I was like, this is so stupid. So I just like went home, like edited it, posted it on TikTok, went to sleep at like 7 p.m. And then when I woke up next morning, it was at 70,000 likes, which was like
insane.
So that, but like that goes, and then like that led to a lot of like insane opportunities, like working with the Jonas Brothers and stuff.
Which we'll get to, and I'm so excited to hear.
But like that kind of go. I'm gonna jump ahead to the Jonas Brothers thing because it goes back to like all these things that you've done before to be ready for these things. Because like when I found out that Joe Jonas followed me, my first reaction wasn't like holy shit, you know, like oh, like I'm a huge fan, like oh my god, like thanks for following me. Like my first message to him was a pitch. Like my first ever message to him was like, okay, even before I messaged him, I looked. Can you
share that message with us, like verbally? What did you say?
Because TikTok doesn't save messages from like a year
ago,
so I wouldn't be able to see.
But
so
do you remember a little?
I don't remember what it was, but like my first instinct was Joe Jonas follows me. This is a business opportunity. I immediately, the first thing I did was I looked up if the Jonas Brothers are playing in Europe. I saw that in like a month's time they're playing in London. So I immediately the first thing I messaged Joe was like, hey, I saw you were playing a concert. Well, I said like thank you for like supporting my content, but immediately after that I was like, I saw you're playing in London, would love to come to London and shoot something for you. And so like, and then luckily he said yes. And so like he flew me out to London. I got to film some stuff for him, which is great. But then like it goes to show like all the experience I've had pitching, and like especially because like before coming to Spain, like I did a lot of work with startups and I did my own projects, and it's like that involved a lot of pitching as well. So like the like my experience and my knowledge of like pitching like helped me take full advantage of the opportunity of being followed by Joe instead of like fangirling and stuff. And so yeah, I saved the fangirling for later.
When you actually ended up meeting him.
Yeah,
that is such a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. But I have so many questions of everything.
Yeah,
my first one is, did he follow you because he saw the Doors video?
Yeah, so like when I was talking to him in person, he was like, he just genuinely really liked my door photos. And so another lesson from that is,
so funny to say.
Yeah, like another lesson from this is you just never know who likes your work. If you put yourself out there, you never know who's gonna like it, because everyone's a person, and every person has interests. You know, like I really like living room design right now because I'm currently flat hunting. So like whenever I see like a nice looking living room, like inspo and stuff. So I imagine like for Joe, he just really liked doors. Yeah, because I think, to my knowledge, the only posts that of mine he's ever liked are of doors. He's liked
he's a door fetish.
He liked my Doors of Madrid video, my Doors of Lyon video, and I did a year recap post with like the Doors photo, and he liked that one as well.
Wow, so you know what to do. If everybody out here now knows the secret to get Joe Jonas to like their posts. It's just
nice looking doors.
Yeah, but that's cool. So my question is, when you filmed the door video and you posted it that night, you must have posted it because you liked it as well, correct? Like
no? I hated it.
Wow,
I hated it.
That goes against everything I say. I always tell you, and this is what Rick Rubin always says: you got to go and do what you want. You got to post what you like.
No,
right?
It's more like I'm just gonna post it to get it over with.
Oh, interesting.
Because
walk me through that.
No, because like again, I was in such a creative rut.
Oh, interesting.
I was just like, okay, like I'm just gonna post it, like whatever,
and see what happens.
No, just post it, forget about it,
and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that was my initial thought. I was just like, I'll just post it, and like it's not gonna do well anyways, so I'm just gonna might as well post it.
Interesting. Like you have nothing to lose. It was
nothing
like
to
quantity
lose.
over quality.
Yeah, because I did not expect for it to like.
Wow. And in your opinion, now, what do you think about it? Seeing that it grew so much, do you still not like it so much, or
now I like it? It's like now like the most meaningful piece of work I've ever done
because of the message associated to it, perhaps.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why like I'm currently looking for a gallery space in Madrid to exhibit like my work, and I will make the whole gallery just about those door photos. Wow.
So if anybody here is a gallerist or knows anybody who has a gallery who's willing to put Daiki's door pictures,
the door photos,
then you know who to contact.
Because I think that will be like the full circle moment.
That would be cool. And then we invite Joe to come see.
Imagine.
He better. I mean,
he's on tour now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Busy man.
Is he with his brothers? Tour?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if he's still like, does he like ever?
Yeah, they're
tour
together.
alone?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Okay. So I want to get there. So, okay. Wait. My other question was, so now the door video is out. That was, you said, a year ago around this time.
Yeah.
So you wake up the next morning. What's your reaction seeing it at 70K likes in like 12 hours? What's your reaction? First reaction? Are you like confused?
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like, wow, like what the heck? But then immediately my brain switched to like, okay, how can I capitalize on this?
Momentum, yeah.
Yeah, how like what do I do? How do I get more opportunities out of this?
And what did you decide?
Just like continuous posting similar content. So like my next video actually did better.
How many followers are we at here?
So I went from 4,000 followers
That day?
that day, and then in a month I went from 4,000 to 48 on TikTok.
And it was all the momentum from that door video,
and then like the subsequent videos as well.
so that's, I think, is a very important lesson for other content creators, is one viral video is not enough. It's what leads after it, because now not only is the bar super high, but you gotta continue from there.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, because I think like I got like obviously that door video like helped a lot. I also did like an architecture of Madrid that ended up getting more views than the door video.
No way. What's it called, that one?
Just architecture of Madrid.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, no, but then those two videos combined only gave me like 20,000 followers.
Interesting.
So obviously it's a lot for two videos, but then the other 20,000 had to come from somewhere else.
Yeah, I see that.
So it came from like the other videos that I started posting.
Of course.
Obviously I kind of slacked, and like my TikTok kind of then like killed my reach because I stopped posting.
Why did you?
I
Any reason that you stopped posting, or?
think I got too busy doing my day job. So it's like whatever. But then so like when my account reached 48,000, it was stuck at 48,000 for like 6 months.
Because you stopped posting as much.
Also, I stopped posting on TikTok.
Would you say that's like another lesson right there? Is as soon as you stop posting.
Also, I personally like don't like TikTok, so it's like conflicting to post on it just because it's so unhealthy. You just get sucked into TikTok, so I just deleted it off my phone. It's on my iPad just so I could still post stuff, but it's like extra friction post. But that's just an excuse. I should just post on TikTok.
I mean, it's clearly doing you well, right? Like you got a lot of business opportunities from it. You were able to level your career up because of it.
Also, I think obviously TikTok is a great platform and stuff, but in terms of like job opportunities and business opportunities, blowing up on Instagram is like 10 times more valuable than blowing up on TikTok.
Why is that?
Because brands aren't always on TikTok.
Why not?
I don't know. I think it's a combination of like the controversy against TikTok. In the US it was about to get banned, so like brands didn't really dedicate much. Also, like because TikTok is relatively new compared to like it blew up in the last couple of years, right? So marketing agencies and in-house marketing teams are still trying to catch up. So by the time they were ready to jump on the TikTok bandwagon, then like the US said they were going to like ban TikTok. So I imagine a lot of in-house brands and companies just felt like TikTok wasn't worth the time investment. So like they're not really on TikTok. So like I found that like me blowing up on Instagram in these last couple months, I got so many job opportunities just because more brands and more like marketing managers are on Instagram.
So would you say that now you've shifted more of your focus and time and energy to Instagram Reels?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. And building your Instagram, and
100%.
You've seen the growth from that?
Yes, 100% for sure.
Okay, cool.
Because there's another round of like
she wants more cuddles.
Yeah, no, obviously like to grow on Instagram, you're supposed to like provide value and stuff, but also
everywhere though, right?
But also you can't deny that like you also grow a lot from like viral videos. So like I had another round of virality in November, like end of November.
Like 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, no, end of November, so like 2 months ago.
What are we at? We're February. Oh yeah, 3 months
like
ago now.
2-3 months ago, yeah, end of November.
And tell me about that. What video was that?
That was like the just London made cinematic.
Oh, nice. Those are beautiful, dude. The way you do that.
Yeah.
If anybody here has not seen Daiki Shino, Daiki.Shino on both TikTok and Instagram, is that correct?
Yeah.
Please go check out the one. If you haven't been to Europe, check it out, and you're gonna want to come to Europe.
It's like an advertisement for Europe.
Honestly, we need.
Imagine if I get to work with the EU.
EU. That'd be cool. Is that something that you like?
That'd be sick. Yeah.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Like the European Commission.
Did Joe and the Jonas Brothers at large reach out to you through Instagram, or was it the TikTok that got you?
No,
to
yeah,
work with
no. So like, because at the time when my TikTok blew up, like the doors blew up, my Instagram was still like 3,000 followers.
Yeah.
My, my Instagram was stuck.
Instagram.
No, my Instagram has been like shadow banned, stuck
Yeah.
for like years.
Why?
God knows. And then just like randomly in November, it just blew up. So, like, I got very lucky for sure. Well, thank you.
But what? Tell me more.
No, I think it's just luck, honestly. Like, getting out of a shadow ban, I have no advice. I think that's just pure luck. Maybe it helped that I was trying to post every single day, but that's also just a hypothesis. It's not like a guarantee that, like, because I've seen people who post every day. Some people who deserve like more views and stuff, and like they've posted every day for like 30 days and they don't get views.
Yeah, but it's not everything. Like I can say from a Twitter perspective that like I've been posting every day for 3 months now, and then like it's tough. It's like you have to do also a lot about community building, networking, especially on an app like X. It's more about that. I think on Instagram and TikTok itself, it's a little bit more. Like you said, I think the virality plays a little bit bigger, whereas on X it's more about being a human and showing that you can also be a friend, perhaps. But I do find that interesting. So then, what led you towards Instagram later? You were like, okay, I don't like TikTok, so I just want to go try Instagram.
Yeah, I just didn't have TikTok on my phone.
Yeah, so you were like, okay.
And then because I saw the video did really well on Instagram, I just posted it on TikTok as well, and then it did really well on TikTok as well. So yeah, like on the same video, yeah. So now my TikTok's at 95,000, my Instagram's at 83.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Wow. Okay, so do you mind sharing a little bit about that? Now that we're on the topic of the Jonas Brothers, I want to love for you to share a little bit about that experience. So the last thing you said was you were messaging Joe.
Yes.
And he, firstly, for the pitch, I wanted to say something about the pitch that I think is so beautiful. Is everybody has the potential to reach out to bigger creators and bigger celebrities in this case. They're even bigger than creators at this point. But if you're able to do it genuinely heartfelt and the way you did, I think to the point, maybe sometimes that's I guess every person will be different, but in your case, you've done it more now than since Joe.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And what have you seen as one trend?
Like, because I think like it's very hard when you reach out cold. It helped that Joe already followed me. So like so like it doesn't go into like his message request, for example. It just goes straight to his inbox, because at the time he only followed like 150 people. So like there's only 150 potential people that will like message him, and like half of those were brands. They're not going to message him on TikTok as well. So like I knew that he would see my message. I just didn't know if he followed me by accident or not. And just turns out he just genuinely just liked the doors. But like I knew that like I would have to thank him, express gratitude, and pitch to him all in one message in like 3 lines. Because like this guy's busy, right? Like he's a Jonas brother. Like I am like the least of his worries. So I just made it like the shortest possible message ever, and I think he respected that.
I like that. I like that. And you shot your shot.
Yeah, because it's always going to be a no if you don't ask.
I don't know. It's true. It's true. And but I think that's the key. Like a lot of people, and then I take it back to X to draw the parallel, is you maybe look up to a big creator, and maybe even an author or someone who's at that level, or maybe even more than Joe. As long as you do it that way, like you're saying, like if you like anybody can DM anybody at this point, especially if you're verified, which anybody can be now. Yeah. So if you're able to just do that, you got to know how to do it, and I think that's a great example.
But also like I think the most important thing, the first thing to do, even before you send a message, is to not take it personally. Because 99%, especially if you're reaching out cold, 99% of the time, the bigger they are, they're not going to respond to you. So
because maybe they just don't see it.
They don't see it. Like for me as well, like I don't have that big of an account compared to like celebrities, and like I don't see all the messages I get. You know, even when I was at like 40,000 people, like I didn't see all the messages I got. So like if you're messaging someone with like millions of followers, like there's an even smaller chance that they see your message. But also there are like, you just got to look for like the right time to like send them the message.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like managers might do like maybe they do a Q&A on their story, or maybe they're on like a live. Then that's like a better time to reach out because they're more likely to see it.
Interesting. Okay.
With Joe, I was just very fortunate that he followed me first. So there is like more like he expressed his interest before I did.
So I guess the key is release valuable and good content.
Yes.
Increase your luck surface area.
Exactly.
As a result, you're more likely for those big creators to see you. Let them follow you and then DM them.
Yes. It's like a big funnel.
Yeah.
Because even if they follow you, it doesn't guarantee that they'll respond to you.
No.
But
it increases that luck surface area.
Exactly. I would be in a better position to pitch to, for example, Lucas Bravo, the love interest from Emily in Paris, than most other people, because Lucas Bravo follows me. Yeah. I've messaged him. He read my message. He hasn't responded to any of my messages. But he's a busy man. Yeah. But like, at least I shot my shot.
And there you go. And you never know if he might answer it again tomorrow, next week, or after watching this.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. That's so interesting. Okay, so continue with the Joe story then. So he answers. What does he answer to that?
He said, yes, like, give me your email. I'll introduce you to
the
team.
He was just straight to that.
Yeah, he's straight to the point. Very professional man.
You must have really touched them with those doors, my friend.
I know, yeah. He was praising the door photos when I was talking to him in person.
Okay, wow. What was he saying?
He's just like, yeah, I just really love your photos. Thanks for coming. He's genuinely like a nice guy. Yeah. Like, I really respect the man.
That's so nice.
I barely knew anything about the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, were you a fan of any of them? Did you watch the movies?
No, I haven't seen it. Afterwards, my friend forced me to watch Camp Rock.
And how was that?
Which was the weirdest experience of my life.
After meeting them?
Because like, I've never seen Camp Rock like growing up. Yeah. So most people see the Jonas Brothers younger first, right? They see like young them, and teenage them, and then they see the Jonas Brothers grow up. I just felt like I'm watching like a colleague's teenage video. And so it just felt really weird.
It's like you saw the inverse.
Yeah, no, like it's always weird when you see like you're working with someone, you see a colleague, and you see a video of your colleague from when they were a teenager. Like in any context, that's just weird.
So interesting.
So it did feel really weird watching Camp Rock.
Did you like it?
I think it was really cringe.
I don't even know. I don't know if I've seen it. I think I don't know. I was a big High School Musical fan. Have you seen that?
No.
Neither?
I've seen like snippets.
Are you against musicals?
No, it's just more like, as growing up as Asian, it's more like math textbooks instead of TV.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's the difference with the Western world. Yeah. But okay, so back to Joe. So now he reaches out, gives the email. Who sends what email? Who sends it first?
So like since then, it's just been handed off to like Universal Music and his management. So they were just like handling.
Who's doing it for you? You're doing it for you. You didn't have a manager at the time.
No. Yeah. This is me wrangling with Universal.
Yeah. How was that experience?
Rough. But
why?
For legal purposes, I will say no more because I want to keep a good reputation with Universal Music. So thank you, Universal Music, for having me in London.
Fair enough. Continue.
Yeah, no, it was honestly a great experience.
Okay. So then the emails are done. I presume you guys fixed on a date.
Well, yeah, because
they fly you out.
Yeah, they fly me out. I shoot. It was actually Semana Santa as well.
No way. So spring break.
Yeah, spring break. So I had no work that week as well. So it was like sweet.
It worked perfectly. So you go there. Who brings you to meet them, and where do you meet them?
So like, explain that a little bit. Joe has a personal brand called Cup of Joe, and
which is what?
Like his merch brand.
Okay.
And so he had like a merch pop up before his concert, and then like an after party because he DJs as well.
Oh, nice.
So
like, I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah,
I think you showed me. Did you film something there?
Yeah. So he had me film because I was there for him, not for the brothers.
Oh, okay.
So I was there to film his event before the concert.
Cup of Joe, okay.
And then the Cup of Joe after party as well. So I didn't get the permits to film the actual concert, but I got free tickets.
And how was seeing the Joe Bros live?
It was nice.
Nice. What was that experience?
It was great. I didn't know most of the songs, but like it was in the Royal Albert Hall, which is one of the most iconic venues in London.
I do know that one.
So it was great. It was beautiful. Wow. It was so fun. We left early because like I needed to get to the after party
before them.
Before the crowd. Okay. So I just like left early.
But did you leave with them?
No. No, I never traveled with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when did you meet them before the concert?
I met Joe before I met Joe at his pop-up before like the concert.
And how was that meeting? The first meet?
I actually didn't get to talk to him until the after party because like he got to the merch thing. He's just like, oh yeah, thanks so much for coming, and he had to like perform. He was on a very tight schedule. He had to like do his DJ set at the merch pop-up, leave to do something else because they're filming a music video at the same time.
Okay, wow.
So he had a very packed schedule.
And then concert,
yeah.
with the two brothers.
So like after the merch pop-up, then there was like an influencer party. So like Universal Music brought the top influencers from the UK to this private bar, and like one by one they were like sent upstairs to create content with the Jonas Brothers. Wow. It's kind of like a content factory. So that's why like if you're like living in the UK around like April, May last year, you probably would have noticed that the Jonas Brothers was everywhere on your TikTok because they just brought in the biggest creators to create videos with the Jonas Brothers. So that's why the Jonas Brothers were like,
what a smart marketing campaign.
Oh no, it's an amazing marketing campaign. Everyone was just so happy to meet the Jonas Brothers. And I was just there as like not an influencer at the time, and everyone else, like the smallest creator other than me was like 500,000 followers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
Yeah, some legends were there for sure, like Arthur Hill. There's a guy on were you active on TikTok during COVID?
I didn't get it till I had to get it for this.
Oh no, yeah, no. There's a guy who's like very famous for like imitating Voldemort at the dinner table. That guy was there.
He was known for that?
Yeah. He like went viral because like he's like mimicking Voldemort at the dinner table, and it's just funny because his mom gets so pissed off.
So he's just pranking her. He's just fucking with her.
Yeah, no. His videos are
Honestly,
hilarious.
I like that.
So there's some fashion influencers and stuff like that.
Okay.
I didn't care about it. They had like millions of followers. I didn't care about any of them. I saw Arthur Hill walk in. I'm like, oh my god, it's Voldemort guy. And also
that's so funny.
Grandpa Frank. There's like this British influencer who's like a grandpa. His name is Grandpa Frank, and he was also there. I was so happy to see Grandpa Frank there.
Wow.
It's like wow.
You met all of these people.
So it's like the first time. It's just like because you see them on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
how was it seeing them in real life? What was the difference?
Some of them were like really uptight, like snobby influencers, but some of them were genuinely really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I had like really good conversations with them. I became friends with them.
It's like an influencer space where they all meet. It's funny.
Yeah, because it's a PR event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Wow, and they were all there for Joe.
For the Jonas Brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. Because at this event it was like the Jonas Brothers.
Okay, so now you're at the concert, right?
Yeah. The fun thing though, from the influencer event, which is on the other end of London from the concert venue, they hired one of those London open top double-decker London buses that had Jonas Brothers written on it, and we got like driven on this bus to the concert venue. So it was just like a bus full of just like UK's top influencers.
Oh wow!
On like
the street
on the London double-decker bus with Jonas Brothers printing on the side.
Wow!
Yeah, that was a
cool experience, huh?
I sat on the top, of course.
And you saw everything.
Yeah.
Wow. You like London, huh?
Mm.
Wow.
And Royal Albert Hall, that was special for me because I did my master's in London, so my graduation was actually going to be like 2 weeks after the concert in the same venue. So like 2 weeks after the concert, I went back to London to graduate in the same venue that they performed in.
How was that feeling?
It was very surreal.
Wow.
To walk on stage.
Yeah.
To graduate.
After just seeing what you just witnessed, right? 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful story, dude. I love. I have so many comments on this, but I love that. But wow. And your parents were there?
Yeah.
What did they think?
It's Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah. That's cool that you graduated there, right?
It's the Asian parent's dream. Student graduating from Imperial College London.
Yeah.
Top it,
yeah,
great
dude.
university. So
fuck yeah.
Royal
That's
Albert
fucking
Hall.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. And especially seeing that you just witnessed like one of the biggest boy bands, arguably one of the biggest boy bands performing there 2 weeks before. And now 2 weeks later, the same venue is used for a graduation. I mean, it shows you how prestigious the college is, right?
Yeah. They're like, the campus is right next door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're all open at like the same time.
Where were you seated during the concert? Were you seeing it from the hall, like from the stands?
One of the stand.
But you got some good seats.
Yeah, we had good seats. Yeah.
Who were you watching it with? Other influencers?
No comment.
Okay. Now I'm dying to know.
No. Just, my ex.
Okay. It's fine. You could have told me later. Don't worry. But I appreciate you sharing. At least now the rest of the viewers don't have to be left with that curiosity in them. But wow, what an experience! Okay, and now after party.
Yes, that was fun. DJ
how was
Saad.
that? He was there alone, or did his brothers join him?
No, his brothers came. Yeah, the funny story is like after his set, like I got to speak. No, before his set actually, I was speaking to him for a good solid like 15 minutes. It was really cool.
And how was that conversation?
At the time, he was still with his like now ex-wife, Sophie Turner. I think the most hilarious thing was like I just forgot that he's married to like this top actress.
Okay.
Like an A-list celebrity, and so like after a good 15 minutes, it's like, Daiki, I'm so sorry, I need to go say hi to my wife. I'm like, that is the most valid reason to end the conversation. Like,
where was his wife?
You know, she was like just walking into the venue.
Oh wow! And you met her?
And like I met her, and I was like, oh yeah, no, like of course, go say hi to your wife. You know, like I'm not gonna stop you from like saying hi to your wife. He turns around, and I'm like, yes. Sophie Turner is your wife, yes.
Yeah, you forgot for a second. That's funny.
I know they're both really nice people. Good. Like I really enjoyed like meeting them.
And how was the DJ set? I'm curious to know.
He's good. He had a remix of the Succession theme song, which was really sick.
I think that's what I saw. Maybe.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. That was the highlight for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I have to see that video.
He's a very very talented DJ.
Nice. Does he DJ a lot? I didn't know he DJ'd.
He DJs quite a lot. Yeah.
How does he juggle it with his singing gigs?
He just DJs the after parties.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And his brothers don't.
No.
They just come to party.
Yeah, they were just there like for like 15 minutes.
Did you meet them that night?
I didn't get to talk. I didn't talk to any of them.
Okay, but then you filmed with all three, correct? At a later date. Am I wrong?
No.
But what, like on your Instagram?
Oh, that was before the influencers arrived at the influencer party.
You were able to film them?
Yeah.
But you still didn't meet them?
No, I didn't get to talk to Nick or Kevin.
But you got them on your frame?
Yeah.
Explain. How does that work?
No. So like they were just posing in front of the bus, and then it went up to the thing. So
but they were posing for everybody or just you?
For me and their photographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in that moment when someone's posing in front of you, you don't have the moment. You don't have like you cannot just talk to them.
No, because they are such on a time crunch.
Yeah, but to say hello to someone, they could come say hello to you, right?
No, so like, I don't think Kevin and Nick knew who I was.
Okay.
It was just Joe who knew who I was because it was him like flying.
Okay. Interesting.
So like Joe said hi. He's like, I already spoke to him at like the merch pop up as well.
Okay, cool. So, that's such a cool story, and I feel like
he's just genuinely nice. Like, of course, like a lot of it is out of his control because Universal Music, and so like the final decisions and a lot of stuff, and he's on a tight schedule. Of course. He's work mode.
Of course.
Like that man is like switched on. Like they were talking about like his team were talking about like how he was in like a press interview with like the BBC or something, and then like the moment he stepped out of the interview, he went like goes to his like Universal marketing person, is like, okay, so we're gonna do this trend. And so turns out during this press interview, even though he was answering questions, all he was thinking about in his head was content ideas. That guy is so good at doing press interviews that he just zones out during the press interviews and just thinks about content ideas.
Wow.
Like, that guy is like on another
efficiency
level.
at its finest.
He's on another level. So I respect the work ethic he has.
Wow. You do wonder when it's a lot, you know. I mean, not like you said, it's a lot of it out of his control, but
yeah,
it's like what he signed up for.
Yeah, but even though he's so busy and so like switched on about his work, like he still like made the effort to make me feel welcome and make me feel comfortable, and I really appreciate it, like, because he didn't have to do any of that, but he did.
Wow.
So yeah. I just have like a huge amount of respect for that
man. I appreciate you sharing that. That is such a beautiful story, and I feel like you also kind of had experience in concerts, right? Because
it's my favorite thing to do. Yeah.
You were finessing back in the day, weren't you? In concerts. Like I remember when you told me the story, like that Billie Eilish video that you have with Phineas, right? Like that. You like I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you told me how you would find a way to get press passes, and.
Oh yeah, so like there's a big charity concert called Global Citizen.
Okay.
It was in
Paris. What year is this?
This was last year, like in June. It was in Paris. and like Billie Eilish was performing, John Batiste was performing, Lenny Kravitz was the headliner, and like Michelle Yeoh was speaking. Like there were like big names speaking, big artists playing, and so I was like, I want to film that, right? Because it's in front of the Eiffel Tower. And then I saw my day job, my corporate company was one of the corporate sponsors of the event. So I just found the person in charge of the corporate sponsorship, and I just emailed them. It was like, hey, like, can I come take photos? And basically they were like, if you pay for your own flight and accommodation, we could give you a VIP ticket and like a media
Once
pass.
Again, if you don't ask, you don't.
Exactly.
You never know.
Yeah. So I got very lucky that like I just knew someone involved in the organization of the festival, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you looked for the clues, my friend.
Yes. It was funny though, because like if you had the media pass, you were only allowed in like the media riser, and you can only take photos in like the first like 30 seconds of each song.
Oh, interesting.
Which is like really annoying, right? But I also had the VIP pass, so I could go to the VIP section, and the security guards in the VIP section didn't know about the rules about no photography after the first 30 seconds. So after the first 30 seconds of the song, I would just run all the way around to the VIP section to continue taking photos.
Dedication.
Yeah, like they probably knew what I was doing, but they're like whatever.
And I feel like it's kind of like you got to do what you got to do for your own self, you know.
But also like I was there on behalf of one of the corporate sponsors, not a media publication.
And
so
you could show that.
It
like,
did say like the company name as well.
Okay. And you think that helped? That helped you?
Yeah, for sure. And also the fact that I had like the VIP pass. Wow. Yeah.
That is so cool. And I remember seeing that Billie Eilish. I think that's when I met you. That was one of the first things you showed me, because you were telling me your story and you were telling me how you would finesse. That's like that's what I meant.
Yeah, that was a finesse. Yeah, for sure.
And you did that, right? I feel like, because also when you were at Exeter, you were doing similar things, right? You were always finding a way to finesse. Is what I'm trying to say. Of course.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, every man for themselves, right?
Yeah. This advice cannot be taken out of context because no does mean no when it's like, you know, with people, but when it's like work opportunities, no never means no. You know,
nice.
You will find a way.
I love that.
Even if someone says no, like for example, like say the context of the concert, like I, for example, immediately reach out to my employer and like the people in my team. So like that was a way. But like if I reached out to like the festival itself and they said no, that doesn't mean that I'm like not going to shoot the festival anymore. I just need to find a different angle.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You can still do it.
Yeah.
You just got to find your own way.
Exactly.
Nice.
So
nice. That's a great. Yeah.
Again, like I think I said this way earlier, 30 minutes ago in this podcast, but like the first thing to do is just not take it personally, and don't let any no discourage you from doing any more. In fact, just let every single no just fuel, and like help you drive you forward.
You're definitely inspiring me, man.
Thank you. You inspire me as well.
No, please. I love all those stories. I think that's what I said when I'm so honored to have somebody like you who's here, because I think you can provide a lot of value for all your life experience thus far. A lot of stories and a lot. I mean, you did for me. Like when we first met, and we both said it together. What did we say to each other? It was funny. We were both saying like one day we're gonna tour together.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And whenever I get back into DJing properly and we, you know, get onto touring a little bit across the world, like you would be there. And not only do you have the experience, but I know that you're gonna keep
it'll be so fun. It'll be so fun.
And I'm excited to keep seeing more and more. I want to just take a little break and show, just because I mainly want to plug the Doors video, if you're okay with it. And maybe
of course.
What we'll do is we'll end with the Jonas Brothers one. Maybe they can go check that out. You know, though, let's keep people with the want to check out your Instagram and go check out the Joe Bros video there. But let's take a little break and just give a little people just before, what are they about to see right now?
So they're about to see the Doors of Madrid video. So like the first video that blew up from mine, and that opened a lot of doors, ironically.
It was that night where you were feeling depressed, yeah?
Yeah. So hope you enjoy this 15-second
little break
door video.
Yeah. And we'll be right back. And we're back. So I hope you enjoyed the Doors video by Daiki. If you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to open your phone, and I encouraged you to go back if you haven't to see it, because on Spotify we offer also the video version.
Yeah.
So I really hope if that's the only part they watch, that's the part they watch. Those 15 seconds, because
we could start the whole podcast with that.
What that video is.
Thank you.
I've watched it, I think, 3 times when I was looking over your content before.
I think that Doors of Madrid video is like the true definition of making something for myself.
But you said you didn't like it.
Because I made that video for myself, because like I was depressed.
But so does it make sense to say that you made it for yourself?
Yes.
But you still didn't like it.
At the time, I didn't like it because of like the mental state I was in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But like I did it. I'm proud. But even though I didn't like it, I was happy that I made it.
Interesting.
If that makes sense, because at least I did something. So
better
it was
than
like,
doing nothing.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I was proud that I managed to actually make something, even though at the time I was like, "This is stupid. It's just photos of doors. Who the fuck is gonna want photos of doors?" Turns out, overnight, 70,000 people liked those photos of doors. So
it's cool. Look who's back.
Look who's back.
You just ate. I see your phone. Your phone is like, look at it.
Oh.
Just going and showing all the stories.
Yeah.
But Molly just had her dinner. You can smell her there. But Daiki, I love that story, and I think you have such a, like I was saying this before, but I think your value when you show that there is a potential in any platform. But my question is for you: is this exactly? Do you believe that the same approach and just to create content, like the same recipe, if there is a recipe, applies to every platform from X to TikTok to Instagram to LinkedIn? I know your experience is just Instagram and TikTok, but
I don't think it does apply because each platform is different. So I can't really comment on like
fair enough.
LinkedIn and X and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
And also it doesn't apply to everyone in Instagram and stuff like that as well. I think the main thing for growing on Instagram is figuring out who your target audience is and what they actually want to watch. I just got very lucky because I didn't know that, but it just happened that my target audience is people who want to see pretty videos of cities. And it just happened.
Sometimes people.
What do you mean?
Like sometimes you see pretty people, right?
Yeah. But it just so happened that people really liked. I just really like making pretty videos of cities.
Nice.
And there's a market for people who wanted pretty videos of cities.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So do you think if you have any advice from somebody who's maybe trying to now attack multi-platforms, like going from, again, X to Instagram or even TikTok to Instagram or Instagram to TikTok, going from one to the other, let's say they've finally dominated and done really well on one. Because usually I think the advice that we give is start on one, kill that one, and then once you can move to others, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying no, it doesn't apply, that if you go from one, doing the exact same thing you did on one will not necessarily work on the other.
No, for sure not.
So your advice is find what works on that one.
Yes. Also find what works for you, because like for me personally, like I wouldn't need to go on X, for example. Like, so it's just like you don't have
at your current stage right now where you are,
or like you just don't have to. You know, like if you don't want to, then you don't have to, because like you could grow a full career just on one platform.
Fair enough.
You know, like there's so many people who I know who like are only on Instagram and they've just made like their living out of that. So like you don't need X, you don't need Instagram, you don't need TikTok. You know,
you just need what works for you.
Yes, exactly. Don't like try to put yourself into a new box. Just stay true to yourself is the thing for sure.
Beautifully, you're a fucking poet as well, my friend.
It's so the cheesiest thing to say is just be yourself, but it is. After it this whole year, like, yeah, no, it's just being yourself. That's all. It's the most difficult thing as well is to identify creating content that makes you feel like you're being yourself, especially if you're not a filmmaker. It's just I'm lucky that like I make videos of cities, and that's what like Instagram is valuing right now is videos. But like if I was purely just a photographer, like I would struggle.
So the other lesson is also expand yourself and learn as much as you can, like keep on building.
Yes.
Right?
But also like, yeah, just sometimes like the reality is you have to like learn how to do video editing and stuff nowadays. I just got lucky in the sense that like I already knew how to edit videos, and it just so happened that the trend was towards video editing.
And we said this during lunch, right? That like when you have a personal brand, you're basically everything. The photographer, the video designer.
Oh yeah, you have to do everything. Yeah.
So in a way, that goes with what you're saying is just keep on building different skills, keep on learning.
Yes,
different
exactly.
skills,
Yes.
because it'll always all pay off. Like you became a salesman through it. You became like when you were pitching to Joe. You had to be a salesman.
Yeah, because like before my social media journey, like I did a lot of like brand design, I did a lot of graphic design, I did a lot of marketing strategy, I did a lot of like consumer psychology, all these different skills that I'm like now finding super useful to grow my page.
Interesting.
And like not really grow my page because like I have no strategy for my Instagram page. Like everyone's like, oh, you need a strategy. I'm like, my strategy is just continue posting pretty videos of cities. That is no strategy.
Because it works for you, and that's all that matters.
It's not even that it works for me. It's just like I don't want to like not enjoy it. I want to enjoy it, and so I'm not even thinking about like how am I going to grow more. I'm thinking about like how am I going to enjoy it.
There you go. More. That's the message. Yes. That's the fucking message.
But the strategy comes from like pitching.
Okay.
Because now I'm using like my big follower account as leverage when I'm pitching to brands and stuff. So like the strategy comes there. That's when like my marketing and consulting brain turns on.
Okay, interesting. So, but I guess then it's for anybody who's trying to grow is stay true to yourself, do what you enjoy doing.
Yes.
And then the strategy will come next. First, focus on yourself. Yeah. Focus on like you said, you wanted like that video. You legit did it for yourself.
Yes.
You enjoyed, even if you didn't love maybe it itself after. You enjoyed doing it.
Yeah. Don't create for views because you'll just feel very unfulfilled at the end of it, for sure.
I mean, they're all empty numbers, right?
Yeah. And also imagine this, right? You're creating like, say you are feeding the algorithm and you're creating content, you know, and it's content that doesn't really fulfill you, but like it gets a lot of views. Imagine a client then approaches you to like, clients start approaching you to make content like that. So then, like, if you're already creating content that's unfulfilling, even though if it grows your account, but then you get asked by clients to do that same thing that is unfulfilling to you, then that's like a recipe for disaster.
100%.
Because you don't want to be doing client work that like you don't enjoy doing as well. Whereas like for me, I've been very fortunate that like she just wants.
I know, because you don't stop touching her. Like she's
because like I've been very fortunate that every single request that I've gotten for like video projects that have gone through are all clients asking me to do my style, which is like surreal, but also makes sense because I've only been putting out my style of work.
So know you can't do anything else. Basically.
Yeah,
you can, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but like the only thing they know that I can do is the stuff that I've been putting out, which just so happens to be stuff that I enjoy putting out.
Okay, cool. Well. That's a cool message as well.
Yeah. Like for example, like I do like, you know, my background's in like psychology, my background's in marketing strategy, I do brand strategy, I do brand design. I don't publicize any of that. So I don't get asked to do any of that, which is great because no.
Cool. Then we won't let them know.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's cool. I love. I think you provided so much.
I would like to do marketing as like a job.
Okay.
But I wouldn't want to do it as like freelance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why not?
I just enjoy making videos more.
So keep doing that, please, because you've been blessing us with such amazing content. And I'll repeat it for maybe the last time or maybe the before last time is please go follow Daiki.Shino on Instagram and on TikTok. Both his links will be at the description of either the Spotify, Apple Podcast, or the YouTube version of this pod. But I think I would be doing a huge disservice to the essence of this podcast, Daiki, if I didn't ask you this one of the last two questions I have for you before I let you go. First one is, and I'm asking this to every guest, but I want to know in your opinion is what is lately the genre of music? So we're going to go into music a little bit. Just for the essence of the podcast.
Because Dom's dance core.
Yeah. That's I want to know. So what is the genre you've been listening to? Firstly, do you listen to music when you edit? I guess when you edit, it's tough because you're editing videos that have sound.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Yeah, you can't really listen to music while editing.
I just realized that as I said it. But when do you listen to music? And what's the genre that you're currently listening to right now these days?
I don't have a set genre, but I listen to music whenever I'm not editing.
Okay.
Like,
so walking.
Everywhere, listening to music.
She almost tripped the fucking tripod. Good call. Okay, but you don't have a specific Molly, careful with the computer. Molly. Sit, Molly.
Technical dog issues.
Sit.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, keep her there.
Good girl. Good girl.
Keep her there, Molly.
No specific genre. I don't
No
know.
specific genre?
I don't. Also, my music knowledge sucks. I don't know what genre.
But hey,
is
but you've
what.
been working. Who like tell us the artists you worked with after Jonas Brothers?
So I guess I could tell you ours.
Yeah.
Like my favorite artist that I've worked with is Ray Brown. Obviously, Ray.
Who you already loved before, right?
Ray is one of my favorite artists.
Nice.
So it was just been an honor to be able to work with Ray and now become friends with Ray.
Beautiful. I heard one of the songs you sent me of him, which is cool.
He's cool. He's good.
Because my last question for you was going to be a little bit around those lines. What is one song you would love people to check out after this pod?
Please go listen to Ray's brand new song "Get Me Out." It was released yesterday.
I will play it at the end of the pod. So we'll end with that one.
It is actually like tied for my favorite Ray Brown song as well.
Oh wow! What's the other one?
Solar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's any Ray Brown fans listening, maybe they know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'll definitely check out more of his shit. But you sent me one. Do you remember the one you sent me that I liked?
I don't remember
No, you
which
don't
one.
remember.
No, he did one that's like more like Fred Again style.
Okay, so I
He
think
just like released one song that's like just suddenly Fred Again style.
Okay.
Like the trendy, like
Okay.
yeah, but it's good. He killed
Okay.
it.
And
so.
who was the other artist you had worked with? I remember there's one more. Oh, we said before.
Saint Levant.
Okay.
There's Saint Levant that I worked with. There's
He was cool.
amazing guy.
Where's he
Very
from?
humble.
Because I'm asking because he worked with my cousin in Lebanon, or she
Yeah.
performed with him. So I'm wondering if he's from the Middle East area.
No, he is. I think he is Palestinian.
Oh, okay.
I think he's either Lebanese or he is actually Palestinian.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Because I saw Shana. She went and I don't know.
They're
why
friends,
I said her name
right?
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I said her name. Like you like Shana, don't you? I remember you were.
Her
following
music is so
yeah.
bloody good.
I'm hoping one day we can get Shana to Madrid, or I'll do the podcast in Lebanon when I go, and we'll get Shana on the pod.
Yeah,
But,
she needs to come to Europe.
Yeah, I mean, whenever she comes around here,
Yeah.
it'd be cool if she ever comes to Madrid. Also, I feel like it'd be cool content for you to film with her as well.
Yeah, no, because I definitely want to work with her.
It'd be cool. We'll definitely look into that. But
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna leave you guys with Ray Brown. What's the
Get
name?
me out.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, Daiki, I appreciate your time.
Thank
my
you
man.
so much for having me as well.
You are an amazing, phenomenal person,
Thank you so much.
an even more talented videographer / photographer / brand strategist.
Thank
and
you.
So much more.
Can't wait to see where this podcast goes.
Yes, it'll be cool. And we have a cool project that we're working on next weekend, huh?
Yes, we can't really say much about it, but we're very excited.
I'm excited, my friend. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having
Please
me.
tell them what are they listening to right now. One last time. Ray Brown.
Ray Brown, Get Me Out.
Ray Brown, get me out. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Amazing music video as well.
Much love.
Much love.
Feels like a prison in my head, trapped in my own mind. Can't seem to make it out of bed. I've been setting fire to the mattress. Call me with the matches. I don't mean to hurt myself. Wish I could explain the